Why are so many people tired all the time, even when they have not done anything? Hi, today in this video, I will talk about why most of the people always feel tired. Why does a quiet Sunday leaves you drained, and why does a full night of sleep often feel like it did nothing? Across the globe, a silent epidemic is spreading, one that doesn't show up in the blood test or respond to more coffee, supplements, or even rest. The exhaustion many feel today is not the result of physically overexertion. It's the consequence of a system under siege, a nervous system caught in a state of constant alert, unable to shut off. In modern society, most people are not physically tired, they are neurologically depleted. They are living in a prolonged state of stress activation where the body initiates a survival response but never completes it. The threat they experience never ends. And this creates a loop where your body prepares for danger, but that danger is never physically confronted or resolved. It's like being chased by a lion every day, but instead of running, fighting, or escaping, you sit in a meeting, answer emails, or scroll through bad news. The threat never ends, and neither does the response. It's because your nervous system is flooded with unresolved stress, and rest alone does not fix that. Sleep, sitting still, and numbing your mind with screens may give the illusion of rest, but they do not tell your body that the threat is gone. And unless your body receives that signal that the threat is gone, unless you complete the stress cycle, it will stay locked in survival mode, burning energy even while you are doing nothing at all. This insight challenges everything we have been told about exhaustion. We are taught to treat fatigue with more sleep, more relaxation, or more self care. But for many, those remedies fail. Why? Because the root of the problem is not being tired from activity, it's being stuck in an unresolved loop of threat activation without release. You are not exhausted because you did too much. You are exhausted because your nervous system believes the danger has not passed. And if the body thinks it is still in danger, it won't allow you to fully relax, no matter how long you lie down. This is just not theory, it's biology. When your body perceives a stressor like a deadline, a tense conversation, financial anxiety, or a disturbing headline. It triggers a full blown psychological reaction. Heart rate rises, cortisol floods the bloodstream, muscles tense, breath shortens. In a natural environment, this would be resolved by running, fighting, or physically escaping. But in the digital age, we are surrounded by hundreds of microstressors every day that trigger the same response without offering a way out. The result? An invisible buildup of tension that never discharges, slowly corroding your energy, focus, and health. This is not burnout in the poetic sense, it's burnout in the psychological sense. Your nervous system is burning out. It's being activated again and again without resolution. It's like switching the light of your house, like one light, two light, three lights, or maybe 10 lights, but millions of lights are being switched on but are never switched off. So you can feel the load. Most of the people don't even know this happening. This video is not just about tiredness, it's about the hidden mechanics of modern exhaustion. It's about understanding why traditional rest does not work or what you actually need to feel whole again. And this is the actual root of the chronic fatigue. It's not about being too busy, it is not about doing too much, it is about doing nothing to tell the body that it is safe. Stress is not the enemy. The human body is remarkably well equipped to handle stress, brief, acute stress. Our ancestors faced life threatening events and the body responded accordingly. Adrenaline surged, blood pumped to the limbs, focused, sharpened, breath accelerated. The body prepared to run, fight, or to survive. But most importantly, once the threat passed, once they escaped the predator or overcame the danger, the stress cycle completed. The body was able to discharge that tension, return to baseline, and restore balance. Modern humans, however, rarely get this closure. We face stressors, an overflowing inbox, an unpaid bill, an awkward conversation, a toxic boss, but we are rarely allowed to respond physically. You can't run away from an email. You can't punch a notification. You can't scream at your mortgage. So, what happens instead? The body still prepares for battle, but the battle never comes. You walk around with the nervous system stuck in on, simmering with unspent energy, unresolved tension, and unreleased cortisol. Over time, this becomes your default state. This is what the Nagoski sisters call incomplete stress response. Your body begins the stress cycle but never finishes it. And every time that happens, the cycle leaves a residue, a build-up, a layer of psychological debris that clogs your system. One cycle left open is fine. 10 cycle left open is manageable. 50 a day, every day, for years. That is when the system starts to break down. You begin to feel symptoms you can't explain: constant fatigue, irritability, foggy thinking, a sense of being on edge for no reason. You may even experience chronic pain, weakened immunity, or emotional numbness. Not because something is wrong with you, but because something important was never completed. This is why so many people feel tired after doing nothing, because the nothing they did was not the kind that restores the body, it was the kind that numbs it. You may have scrolled your phone or binged a series, but your nervous system was still running in the background, scanning for threats, holding on to unresolved stress, refusing to relax because no signal ever told it, "You are safe now." Even worse, modern society reinforces this malfunction. We are told that rest is lazy, that emotions are weakness, that success means pushing through, staying strong, and never stopping. So instead of completing the cycle, we suppress it, we sit still, tense, we smile while anxious. We distract ourselves from the tension instead of releasing it. Over time, this suppression becomes a life cycle. Your system responds to an awkward text the same way it would to a tiger in the jungle. Because the human body cannot tell the difference between a big stressor and a small one. Heart rate up, muscles tight, cortisol spike, your body reacts not to logic but to perception of threat, which means that every unresolved microstressor is another incomplete loop. And when those loops accumulate, you burn out, not dramatically, quietly, subtly, until you wake up one day and realize you are exhausted all the time and you don't even know why. So far, if this content is making sense to you, please subscribe my channel right now. Thank you. So, we have been sold the idea that relaxation means inactivity, lounging on the couch, watching something mindless, or aimlessly scrolling through endless feeds. It feels like rest, it looks like rest, but on a neurological level, your body disagrees because what you are doing in those moments is not signaling safety to your nervous system. It's simply pausing movement while the internal storm rages on. When you lie on the couch after a long day and binge a TV show, what's really happening? Your muscles may be still, but your mind is far from the calm. The glowing screen keeps your brain stimulated. The content, even when entertaining, may provoke stress, plot twist, intense dialogue, disturbing news. And to that, the exposure to blue light, which disrupts your circadian rhythm and blunts melatonin production, making it harder for your body to prepare for real sleep. Add to that the notifications that pop up mid episode, reminding you of emails, deadlines, social comparisons. What you thought was rest is actually low level, ongoing activation of your stress response. And this is the trap. Your nervous system stays in limbo, alert and bracing for the next threat. The same goes for the social media scroll. In theory, it's harmless, just a few minutes to decompress, right? But your brain sees something very different: curated perfection, subtle comparisons, political outrage, tragic headlines, dopamine spikes with no resolution. It is not rest, it is stimulation dressed in rest clothing. And worse, it comes with the side of guilt. You rested, yet you feel no better. Now you feel both tired and lazy, wondering why the so called downtime is not doing its job. This is not a personal failure, this is a cultural design flaw. So now we are going to discuss about the real activities that will send a message to your body, to your nervous system, that the threat has been passed. In order to fix this, your body needs to do something that tells it, threat passed, all clear, stand down. And this doesn't happen automatically. It must be triggered through specific psychological signals that speak the language of the nervous system, not the logic of the mind. Recognizing the signs that your body have hidden symptoms of unresolved stress, the sudden signal your body sends when it is begging for completion, is the first step to reclaiming your energy, your clarity, and your life. The key to healing then is not doing less, it is doing the right kind of things, activities that speak directly to your nervous system and tell it, the danger has passed, you survived, now you can rest. So, what completes the stress cycle? First and foremost, physical movement. This is the most efficient, biologically direct way to resolve the stress response. Think about it. The stress response evolved to fuel action. Your body gears up for movement, to fight, to flee, to survive. If you're nervous, to fix this, your body needs to do something that tells it, threat passed, all clear, stand down. This doesn't happen automatically. It must be triggered through specific psychological signals that speak the language of the nervous system, not the logic of the mind. Recognizing the signs that your body have hidden symptoms of unresolved stress, the subtle signals your body sends when it is begging for completion, is the first step to reclaiming your energy, your clarity, and your life. The key to healing then is not doing less, it is doing the right kind of things, activities that speak directly to your nervous system and tell it, the danger has passed, you survived, now you can rest. So, what completes the stress cycle? First and foremost, physical movement. Physically movement is the most efficient, biologically direct way to resolve the stress response. Think about it. The stress response evolved to fuel action. Your body gears up for movement, to fight, to flee, to survive. If you never move, that energy has nowhere to go. It festers. So when you move vigorously, when you run, dance, lift, punch, kick, jump, your body finally receives the signal it was waiting for. We made it. The threat is over. According to Emily and Amelia Nagoski, 20 to 60 minutes of sustained moderate to intense physical activity is enough to complete the cycle. And no, this does not mean you need a gym membership or a strict workout routine. It could be dancing wildly in your room, going for a long brisk walk, or shaking your body like an animal after a stressful moment. This form doesn't matter. The form does not matter, the signals does. It must raise your heart rate, deepen your breathing, and move the tension out of your muscles. That is the body's language. That is what completion looks like. But movement is not the only way. Breathing, especially deep intentional breathing, can act as a neurological hack. Long, slow exhales activate the nervous system, the branch responsible for rest and digestion, the off switch to stress. One technique, known as the psychological sigh, involves a deep breath in, followed by a second short sip of air at the top, and then a long extended exhale. Just a few rounds can dramatically reduce cortisol levels and signal to your brain, we are okay now. It is subtle, but it works. Positive social interaction is another powerful strategy. Not shallow conversation, not endless group chats. What the nervous system needs is genuine connection. A moment where you feel safe, seen, and supported. A laugh with someone you trust. a hug that lasts more than 20 seconds, long enough to release oxytocin, the hormone of safety and connection. Even petting a dog or making eye contact with someone who truly listens can complete the cycle. The body does not always need to solve the problem. Sometimes it just needs to know it's not alone in facing it. Then there is a creative expression: painting, journaling, gardening, cooking, building something with your hands. These activities engage your sensory motor system in a way that shifts your brain from survival to exploration. They don't just distract the mind, they ground it in the present. They pull your focus away from from abstract worry and root it in the tangible, embodied action. That shift from threat to creation is a biological form of healing. And let's not forget crying. Not the performative kind, the raw, guttural, unfiltered release that comes when you have held in too much for too long. Emotional tears are chemically different from reflex tears. They literally carry stress hormones out of the body. That post cry relief you feel, that's not psychological, that is physiological resolution. And finally, nature. Just 20 minutes in natural environment, especially one with green space or flowing water, has been shown to reduce amygdala activity, lower cortisol, and restore baseline functioning. But it only works if you are present. Walking through a park while staring at your phone does not count, or listening to the music while walking does not count. Your body must experience the surrounding, hear the wind, feel the sun, touch the leaves. This is not poetic, it is neurological. Each of these strategies completes the cycle in a different way, and none of them are about fixing your thoughts. They are about closing a loop that your biology began without permission. Without your permission. They are reminders that your body is not a machine. It is a system that needs closure, ritual, and physical signal to function properly.